Hi everyone, I'm Michaela. I'm 31 years old and I'm going to be doing a makeup tutorial today on how to cover your under eye area. I'm going to give you guys some different views on my face just because I do have really dark circles under my eyes. You can see like a lot of veininess as well, and then just a lot of redness. So I've watched so many tutorials on different people and what types of tools and tips and techniques they use. So today I'm going to be comparing the Becca Under Eye color corrector and then also the HD Pro Conceal LA Girl color corrector. And then I'm going to be using a few different moisturizers, and the main concealer I'm going to be using is this Bye Under Eye, which I've used for a really long time, and the Tarte Shape Tape just does not work for my skin. I have super dry skin. So without further ado, let's get started. So first thing I'm gonna do is put on my eye cream. I got recommended this eye cream from another YouTube video. I feel like it's a little overpriced for what you get. It feels good. I don't have anything negative to say about it, but I don't know if I'd repurchase it. I believe it was about $35, and that's gonna be the Kiehls eye treatment with avocado. Again, don't have anything negative to say. I just feel like you could get something that has the same results for a little less money. So right after I come out of the shower, what I'll do is I'll put on all my moisturizer, and then I'll go start to put all my clothes on and things like that so I can fully let my moisturizer dry. Because I've noticed in the past, like especially if I'm in a rush to get ready, if I just start getting ready and my moisturizer is still super wet, it will just, like, my makeup will just slide and it won't stick all day. And then before I start doing any coverage, I'm going to show you guys in more detail just like what my under eye area really looks like, because right now I'm in natural lighting, but like at work when I'm under the lights that we have, my under eye area just looks insane even with makeup on. It's just so gross. Also, one really important thing too is I have super dry skin all year round, so my hands are always really dry. So I just like to use a nice hand moisturizer on my hands before I start applying any of my face moisturizer and my makeup. Sorry if you can hear my cat crying in the background, but she wants to come in, but I know she's gonna knock over things. So, okay, so we've done the eye cream, we did the face cream. I think I showed you guys this, but this is just the Derma E. I really like their moisturizers and face products, and they're a really good price. So that's just like their daytime moisturizer, and I'll link all of the products in the description. So we've done our eye cream, we've done our face moisturizer. One thing I saw on YouTube was just a recommendation to use coconut oil. I really like coconut oil. I use it for a lot of different things, but I like to just put like just a really small bit of it, and this is the organic cold pressed, like not that much at all. You don't want to have like a ton of oil, because again, your makeup's just gonna like sit and slide on the top of your skin. So I just kind of like press it in my eye area and let it dry. Okay, so while we're kind of letting that set, I'm gonna just show you guys, kind of get like up close and show you guys, like you can see, especially if I go like that, and again, I'm in bright natural light, but my under eye area is really recessed, and I have this like trough, and like it literally looks like I got punched in the face. So sometimes when I watch makeup tutorials and they're like, yeah, I'm covering my under eye area, and I'm like, Okay, here under eye area is not that bad. So, the first thing that I do is I put on my face foundation, and this is obviously used quite a bit. This is the IT CC Cream Full Coverage Concealer, and it does have SPF. One thing that I did not put on, which I do put on a regular basis, is going to be sunscreen. I'm just going to pull my hair back just a little bit. Sunscreen on my face. So today it's raining out and I'm literally not going to go outside at all, but if I was going outside, I would do sunscreen even though my foundation has sunscreen in it. It does not have the same protection as putting on an actual SPF cream. So this is a wet beauty blender I got on Amazon. I like to get the sponge really, really wet and then just like squeeze all the water out, and that just makes it the softest. And I really don't use that much foundation because it is full coverage, and I feel like with the wet beauty blender and this product, I really don't need that much. And again, I'm not going anywhere today, so I'm just kind of showing you what I would do. I'd probably go over this maybe one more time, but I don't like bring this main face foundation underneath my under eye area, because from other videos in the past I've learned that anything that you're not like actually using on your under eye area, you shouldn't keep layering. So I do put some like right there just to kind of blend the color, because when I color correct and do my under eye foundation, it's not going to be going up there, so I won't have like multiple layers. So let's go ahead and start on the color correcting. So pull this back down. So on my right eye, I'm going to be using the Becca Under Eye, Bye Under Eye. Wait, what is this? No, this is the light to medium Becca Under Eye Brightening Cream. I've heard a lot of really good things about this. I honestly might return this product because it's really, really light. Which is great because it's brightening, but I just don't feel like it covers my dark circles. And I just use the tiniest little bit, and because this one is so light and I use so little, I'm kind of going over all of my dark areas. So I have dark areas like in this trough, of course, like down there, and then in this back corner you always want to make sure to get. So this time I'm just going to be a little bit more intentional, and you always just want to work in really light, thin layers, just pressing the product into your skin. I heard that on a tutorial recently, and it just made so much sense, because when you try to go in with a ton at once, yes, it's quicker, but you just end up smearing a bunch around and it just doesn't look as good and as natural, and you honestly don't even get the same coverage. So you can see that's definitely looking better. And then the other eye, I'm going to do the LA Girl Pro Conceal High Definition Concealer. And I think I showed this to you guys already, but this is in the color Peach. Honestly, it's kind of dark for me, but I haven't found anything I like better than this. I do like this a little bit better than the Becca because it is a little bit darker, and I feel like it just offsets my blue pigmentation more. So this, I'm a little bit more cautious as to where I put it because, like I said, it's pretty dark for my skin. I have super pale, super dry skin, really prone to wrinkles, really prone to like flakiness and creasing. And again, I'm just going in with a little bit of product, keeping it in that same general area for that first initial layer, and then kind of just like getting a little bit more detailed on that main area. Sorry, this is just like really up close and personal, but I want to show you guys. Okay, so just to reiterate again, the left eye right here, we used the LA Pro Concealer Color Corrector, and the right eye, we used the Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector, light to medium. And now I'm gonna go in with the one concealer that I've used forever. It's the Bye Bye Under Eye by It Cosmetics. I use the light to natural. I found with these under eye concealers, if you go too light and you have a really dark under eye, your under eye area almost ends up looking like gray. And then if you go too dark, obviously it's not going to blend with the rest of your concealer. So this concealer I really liked. As I mentioned, I have really dry skin and really dry under eye. This particular concealer goes a really long way. What I do is I just put it on these two fingers. I actually mix it onto a couple other ones because I just want to start again with like really thin layers, and less product is more when it comes to this particular concealer. I actually probably even put too much. You literally need just like a pencil tip drop. And this, you can be a little bit more generous as far as where you take it, because you are going to want to blend this in to the base layer of foundation that you did. So I just even like blend it a little bit up on my nose and then just down in this area. I'm not using this to highlight. I wouldn't recommend using it to highlight just because it's a really thick consistency. So when I do put it on my fingers, I just like warm it in between my fingers so it gets a little bit smoother and the consistency gets just a little bit easier to work with. So I put on a first layer and then I'm just gonna go in with another really light second layer. And I'm actually really liking in this particular lighting how this concealer and corrector are pairing. And then I'm gonna take a break from that eye and move on to this eye, just letting those first couple layers dry and kind of like melt into the skin. And this concealer is definitely more of a full coverage concealer if you do have really dark under eyes. So working in that first layer, I won't use this for highlighting, but this is a really good just like all over concealer. So if you have a couple spots like that spot right there, and then just on my nose, tends to get really red. And again, I have really veiny eyelids. You could tell like every time I move. So I do just work this up onto my eyelid, and I really like that underneath my eyeshadow. Just as like a base. So it seems like I'm putting a lot on, but this is that same little bit that I put on my finger. And again, I'm just doing super light layers. So I still have a decent amount even just on my fingers here. And now I'm gonna just go back to that first eye and do the second eye as well. And just hitting those really susceptible areas. So I have seen some videos where after the concealer they go in with even like a lighter product and like do something right there. And what I've found is that just ends up looking really cakey on me. So I don't do that. The only other thing that I would do at this point is just go over little spots like that with concealer. And then with this concealer, it does like almost leave a little creaminess in your creases. So once you let that dry just a little bit, just re-pat those areas down. And I do get Botox on a pretty regular basis for my wrinkles. I have gotten under eye fillers before. Right now, they're completely worn off. The only thing that would take these little like shadows away for me that I've found is having fillers, because fillers like move that under eyelid away from your other skin, so the shadow goes away and they appear less dark, which is great. So at this point, I'm done with my under eye area. Obviously, I'll show like a before and after from the beginning to the end. You know, depending on the angle my face is at, you can see them or not see them. I haven't found anything that completely takes that trough away, with the exception of those fillers. And I don't set my under eye with any powder. I don't care what any tutorials have said. It really makes my under eye area look cakey. Like if I get up close to it, it looks cracked, but you can see like everything looks really, really smooth on my under eye area. Like if I was to put a setting powder underneath, like I've tried the Laura Mercier one and a couple other ones, and they really haven't worked. So the only other thing I put on for a powder, just because I do find that my under eye area looks a bit wet, is I use this Hydra Perfect L'Oreal translucent powder. Super inexpensive. And I'm not gonna like go specifically into my under eye area, but I'm just doing like cinnamon sprinkle amount on here, going in with my brush, just like tapping the excess, super, super light, and just use like the biggest, fluffiest brush that you have. And just like really light pressure, tap, tap, tap. And that just takes away that like shine. So that's the finished look. And it's not creasy or cakey. Again, I don't go in there and like bake my under eye area or use a setting powder, just because it tends to look super cakey. I'll link all the products below. If you have any questions or comments or any recommendation on how I could take away that final little like inset trough area, that would be fantastic. So let me know what products you're using and what products you're liking, and we'll see you on the next video.